Hello and welcome back to A Preacher Life. Well, in our last video, we finished up looking at the Ten Commandments, and now we're going to dive a little bit further into the very beginning of the Bible with Genesis and looking at creation. Yes, I'm back in bed this time, but somewhat for convenience for me for editing, in that I'm going to have a lot of reading, at least for this initial video. So, other than reading it all from the Bible directly and then having to cut and paste and put it on the video or on the final screen so you guys can see, I'm just going to read it where both of us are seeing it at the same time. And just like last time, I have the English on the right and the Spanish is on the left. And I am using a new translation called the Legacy Standard Bible. This is the latest translation that has been the product of many years of work through the MacArthur Institute, and it's one that I've been excited to get a hold of, and I can here on Accordance Bible software. Hopefully it'll become more available soon. But for today, we're going to read the entire chapter of Genesis 1, which is 31 verses. And if my voice is still with us when I get to the end, I'll comment a little bit on a few things, but for the next few weeks we're going to look at this more in depth, as well as some more text in the opening chapters of Genesis. So let us get started here, and this will be my first time reading through this translation as well, so we'll hear it together. Genesis 1, starting at verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. And God called the light... Lost my spot here. And then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, one day. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." So God made the expanse, and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. Chapter 9, or verse 9. Then God said, "Let the waters below the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants, yielding seed, and fruit trees on the earth, bearing fruit after their kind, and seed in them." And it was so. And the earth brought forth vegetation, plants, yielding seed after their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in them after their kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a third day. Verse 14. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens, to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth." And it was so. So God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and also the stars. And God placed them in the expanse of the heavens, to give light on the earth, and to rule the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. Verse 20. Then God said, "Let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the expanse of the heavens." And God created the great sea monsters and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." And there was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. Verse 24. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth after their kind." And it was so. God made the beasts of the earth after their kind, and the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing of the ground after its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, so that we will have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." And God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female. He created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that creeps on the earth." Verse 29. Then God said, "Behold, I have given to you every plant yielding seed that is on the surface of the earth, and every tree which has the fruit of the tree yielding seed. It shall be food for you, and to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that creeps on the earth, which has life. I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw all that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. As where we'll end our reading out for today. And these 31 verses, talking about creation, I would say are probably some of the most widely interpreted verses or parts of the Bible, next to the book of Revelation. But for the next several weeks, and I could probably do the rest of the year of just talking about this section and the following chapters. So that's what we will do here the next while. But first, couple things to note is that you should notice in every verse that if you go back up to the beginning here, that they all follow a pattern. So, like here in Genesis 1, verse 5, it says, there was evening, and there was morning, and it gives a number, 1 for this one. The second day, does the same thing. Evening, morning, and number. And that's all the way through. Well, how do we define a day right now? Looking out my window here, it's nice and sunny. And I got up this morning and did my usual routine. And if everything goes as it usually does, then the sun will go down and evening will come. And the sun will come up again, and it'll be a new day. So we go evening to morning, or morning to evening, either way you want to look at it. It's one day. And even when we number our days, we say that the first day of vacation, I did this. The second day, I did that, or so on and so forth. So the language here very clearly portrays that these are time periods of one single day, of a 24-hour day as we realize it now. And if we hop over to Exodus 20, back to the Ten Commandments that we've been going through, if we go to verse 11, this is part of saying that we need to work for 6 days, and rest for 1, or to have the Sabbath day. But it says right here on verse 11, for in 6 days Yahweh, which is Hebrew name of Lord, made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. So, again, further on, we even see this reiterated in the commandments that God used 6 regular days, just as we experience now. So that is a start of what we will look at. And again, we're going to go into a lot more depth of everything. And for me, it's kind of an exciting journey to go along. And I look forward to the questions and hopefully helping you along the way. But that is all for this edition of The Preacher Life. And for now, I will say I will see you next week. So, bye for now.